placement of bike route signs along certain county roads, and I think we have representation here from Larry. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Larry Koehrsen, live at 510 West 2nd Street in Muscatine. I'm here, as I was a month ago, to discuss with you the project for placing bike route signs on a number of county roads, and that would include the American Discovery Trail and the Mississippi River Trail all the way across the county. That you have in front of you the map, which is the same map that you saw a month ago. It's the same map that's on the easel here. I have, however, highlighted on the one on the easel the American Discovery Trail and the Mississippi River Trail, because I've sensed there has been some confusion as to just exactly what route those two trails follow. So that was basically the presentation I made a month ago. We do have several people here this evening who would like to speak toward this project, representing their constituencies, and following that I have a few more words I'd like to say, and I'd like to start with Dave Jones, if you would.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Dave Jones. I'm a resident of Muscatine County. I happen to belong to the Muscatine Bike Club, but I'm here tonight before you as a member of the Conservation Board. And as most of you know, through your support, the Conservation Board, through your financial support, is able to support a lot of conservation and education programs. As such, we've, like a lot of other conservation boards across the state, have been from a distance watching what's going on with trail development. And we've had a lot of support from our board for the trail development that's taken on in the urban area, because we think that's the best return you can get for the first dollar you spend. There hasn't been any trail development outside of the urban area, out into the county. However, from a conservation board standpoint, we are concerned about a lot of outdoor activities, whether they be our parks, our rivers, or any other outdoor activity that's in the county area. And last week, the Conservation Board did endorse this recommendation, because it does, with the spirit of our initiative, it does support a healthy lifestyle, and it does allow our citizens in the Muscatine County to take advantage of an outdoor activity. And we think that the signage can help promote that. We, as the Conservation Board, do support that.
Thank you.
My name is Greg Harper. I live at 619 Sunrise Circle, and I'm a lifelong resident of Muscatine and manager of Harper Cycling Fitness. And a lot of you may already know me. Being at the local bicycle retailer here in Muscatine, we have thousands of local Muscatine County residents that are bicyclists, as well as being a retailer in Muscatine and at a crossroads of a national bike route. We get touring cyclists traveling cross country, coming in and through Muscatine. So I think they having some additional signage would be a benefit for them, so that they would know their way through town and through the county, as well as local cyclists knowing that there's additional awareness to motorists of bicyclists that are out there. I think it would be a good idea and a great plan for Muscatine to set forward and just show that they support cycling activities, and I think it's a good idea. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm James Old, Park Ranger at Wildcat State Park for the Iowa DNR. I think Larry's plan here has got a lot of merit for us in the recreational business. We have campgrounds on the river. Corps of Engineers have campgrounds on the river. The county has their campgrounds. This signage would tie all of that together. And a safety issue, the signs are going to make it safer, that I can see. It's going to tell the motorists that there are going to be bicyclists on the road. New Era Road connects Muscatine basically with Wildcat Den. There's 5 to 10 cyclists every day, and sometimes even big groups. The signage would definitely help let motorists know that, hey, share the road because the bicyclists are going to be on these roads. As far as liability-wise, from a law enforcement standpoint, the Code of Iowa right now says bicycles are allowed on roadways except for limited access highways or interstates. I can't see where the signage will change anything as far as your liability for the project that we want to do here. So I'm certainly behind him, and hopefully we can get something worked out. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Deb Elliott, and I'm a lifelong resident of Muscatine. I've been enjoying bicycling for about 12 years now, and it is the most joyous form of exercise that I think you could participate in. I've made many wonderful friends, all ages, all walks of life that I never would have made before. We ride together as a group frequently. We ride on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Saturdays and Sundays. We ride a lot. Having signage would be a wonderful thing. We also go to other areas, and when we go to other areas, we go to areas that have planned bike routes. You know, and I also think, so if we had bike routes in our county, it would bring groups locally to us. When I'm out and about, I really don't see too many other groups from Burlington, from Davenport, Cedar Rapids, really cycling in the Muscatine area, and I think they probably would if there were designated bike routes, because you really do want to know where you're going. You want to go where the next, you want to be able to make it to the next come and go. You want to be able to make it to a place to eat. A bike route would be, or bike signs that designates bike routes would be very helpful, I believe, to our county. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
When we finished our discussion last month, as I saw it, there were two issues that you were primarily concerned with. The first one was cost, and there was some question as to cost for the installation of the signs. As I said at that time, we are prepared to underwrite 100% of the cost of purchase of the signs, and I will now extend that to say we will also underwrite 100% of the cost for the installation of the signs. I've talked with Keith about this, and there are several ways we could get it done, and I think the bottom line is that it will be done at no cost to the county, and it will be done to county specifications and standards. So if Keith has any questions about how it is being done, we can get that resolved and make sure it is done to his satisfaction. The second issue is the one that is always with us, and that is the liability concern. And that certainly doesn't go away, and I'm not in any position to add much to that over the discussions that we have had before. There is some liability involved. I can't say how much. You can't say how much. There is some liability involved with anything that the county does, and I don't think that this would rank very high with some of the other activities that you are asked to take part in the normal course of events. So while I wish I could add something new on the liability issue, I can't, but I think that it is something that that can be accepted and lived with. You have heard this evening the endorsements and support that we have from a number of groups and organizations. The Convention and Visitors Bureau has endorsed our project. You've heard endorsement from the Bike Club, the Conservation Board, DNR, numerous individuals, the Iowa Bicycle Coalition. Mark was here and spoke to you at the last meeting. He's here again supporting the project. So in summary, or what I would say then is that this is also not only getting endorsement and support, but it is very consistent with the activities and actions that you have taken in the past. We do have a county-wide trails plan that was done by the Bi-State Regional Commission. This was presented to your group, and you have endorsed it. There are a number of bike routes in this plan that are in the proposal that is before you. So there is nothing new there. It is already in your countywide trails plan. Mississippi River Plan was prepared by the Iowa Department of Transportation. It does include maps which show the route through Muscatine, the Mississippi River Plan, Mississippi River Trail through Muscatine County. It's already there. It has been put together by the DOT, and they are encouraging people to proceed with development of signage and facilities following that trail. We also talked a bit about the transportation map for bicyclists that's put out by the Iowa DOT. That does show all of the roads in the county that are on this map, are part of this proposal. It does indicate the traffic volumes on those roads, and this document basically encourages bicycle traffic. So we aren't trying to start anything new. We're trying to build on what has been done by others, and we think that this bike route signage project will just be another step in the direction of improving safety and visibility. So in summary, this is a project that is no cost to the county. It is safer for bicyclists. It is safer for motorists. It promotes outdoor recreation and a healthy lifestyle. And it promotes and encourages an efficient mode of transportation. So I guess with that, I would say, what is there not to like about this project? I would urge that you consider it favorably and authorize us to proceed with the signage as it has been presented to you.
Any questions for Larry?
Yeah, you've highlighted the Mississippi River Trail and the American Discovery Trail. So are they running along the same route?
They run on the same route from Muscatine to the Scott County line.
Okay.
In Muscatine, then the American Discovery Trail goes northwest toward West Liberty, and the Mississippi River Trail goes south to the county line and into Louisa County.
Okay.
Larry, you have satisfied the question I had about the purchase and installation of the signs and any subsequent costs to the county, and that's resolved as far as I'm concerned. As to the issue of liability, we have a copy in our packet of the letter that Joni Axel did send to Dana Christensen. There was several pieces of material that she had sent to him that we do not have access to.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe at the last meeting I had requested some information. I think there was a Cedar Rapids report from an attorney up there or something. You recall?
Yeah, and we weren't able to access that at this time.
But there is Joni apparently sent Dana a DOT memo on the subject of liability and an internal memo from Stanley Landy and Hunter addressing that same subject. I guess I'd still like to see that information.
Okay.
So, and Eric, do you know if Dana has responded to this letter? Or has he okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see this.
Right on the road to rail pretty good.
Yeah. Pass me.
Larry, on the Mississippi River Trail, is the designated route on here the one that is in their booklet, you know, the Pettibone south, I guess, you know.
Actually, the one that is in the book would go out Stewart Road all the way. Okay. We felt that the traffic volume coming down to Wiggins Road and then going down Ogilvie, ultimately it comes back into Stewart Road when you get down into Louisa County. But there is that stretch where you could stay off of Stewart Road and stay on lower traffic volume roads.
Right.
So it more or less the same route as in the DOT book, but
Is Pettibone desirable for bike riders with I think the railroad track crosses Pettibone 5 or 6
Well,
times.
I think we discussed this before. I think it pays you money and it takes your choice, because Pettibone is not a great road. Stewart Road is not great. So,
Larry, do you have access to those two documents that I referenced, or should I get those from Joni? The DOT memo and the Stanley Van.
I don't have them at this time. She has them right now.
I support the project. I think it's a good idea. I'm certainly in favor of it. I would like to see those memos though, and tonight it is just a discussion item on our agenda. It is not a decision item, so we won't be voting on it tonight.
I guess if it was a decision item, I would probably make a motion to put the bike routes on the American Discovery Trail and possibly the Mississippi River Trail, and then any other routes, I think for safety reasons, we put share the road on. I think that eliminates our liability as far as those routes go, but it also indicates to motorists and bicyclists that they need to share the road on those routes. That I think share the road signs may even be better than your bike route signs as far as motorists go. But that would be what I would vote for. I'd be willing to vote for that. So
I don't know what would be your response to that.
I don't think that gets the job done. I think that the bike route signs are different from share the road signs.
I would agree.
Dave suggested bike route signs on the 2 trails,
Right, I
identified trails
understand.
according to the
I
map,
understand.
and share the roads on the others. And you don't
One
like
of the
that.
problems that we have is that the 2 routes that you talk about, the American Discovery Trail and the Mississippi River Trail, are in fact the nationwide trails, but they aren't necessarily the best routes to ride in the county. It's just that we have to designate them because there isn't any other way to get across the county. There are a lot of roads in the county that I think the bicyclists here will agree are much better to ride, they ride them more frequently, and that they would like to see as bike routes. There is a difference between a bike route sign and a share the road sign. The bike route is a wayfinding. It would permit us then to prepare a map showing bike routes. I think it would then permit us to also publish routes that people can ride from Muscatine to Wilton, West Liberty, loops that they could follow and so forth. So,
and I can appreciate that, but the fact is that, I live close to Taylor Avenue. That's not even a good route for a car right now. I mean, that road is basically in pretty bad shape, and it's in our 5-year plan to fix it. So we would, in my interpretation, I still think there's a liability there until we finally get a court case settled. And the problem we've got now is one county has set the precedent with the rag bike situation. Typically what happens is when counties or anybody else gets sued, the insurance company says, oh, okay, it's going to cost us X dollars to litigate this, or we can settle out of court. And that's what happened in that county, and that's what's going to continue to happen until some county makes it official that says, no, let's litigate to see whether we are liable for maintaining the roads, the specifications for bikes. I mean, it's practically impossible, in my estimation, to do that to these roads. Because if you get a hot day and you get a piece of pavement heat, we may not be able to get back to fix it. So that's the reason I think share the road accomplishes the safety issue, which I thought was the main issue you had. And that's the reason I can support that.
I want to do one. Is there anybody that must address this, either in opposition? I mean, I want to be fair here. So I didn't know. Okay, that answers my question.
Okay. Can we compromise? And if you do the bike route, can you take not the bicycle triangle sign of share the road, but just the bottom share the road sign and put that on as well as the bike route sign? I mean, it'd be more
could do
costly.
something like that.
It'd be,
But that designates it as a bike route.
well, yeah.
And so
It
that's,
is. Even
that's
if
where
we
the
had to
liability comes in for me. That's the
Okay.
reason I'm saying,
Okay.
liability-wise, and yeah, hopefully it never would happen,
But you know what?
but it has happened.
All right, I said this last week when we discussed this, but that to me is just like saying out in the county, we have all these signs that say caution, deer crossing. You know, doesn't that open up the liability there as well? Because we know there's going to be deer crossing the road.
But we don't control the deer. We can't.
Haven't been sued either, because somebody can hit it with a vehicle.
And I still have some concerns on liability on certain roads, and I think I support the overall concept.
Yeah.
I am concerned with the liability. As I said, I live on 231st Street, which is G28, and I know there's a lot of bike clubs and experienced riders right out there, but personally I wouldn't ride on it. There's a lot of semi-traffic out there. The problem I have is that the experienced riders, which most of the people in this room, and they understand the semis and all that, but once we designate as a bike ride, somebody comes in from out of county and they take their family out there with little kids and so forth, then I think there is some liability on our part. And that hasn't been settled in a court case, and I think if you read the response from our assistant county attorney, that he indicates there could be some liability, that we need to look at traffic counts and so forth. And I think I would want some, I guess at least an opinion from our county engineer, and I guess I'd like Keith to at least talk about some of this tonight.
I might just quote what DOT says about bike route signage, and getting to your issue, Tom. They say bike route signs merely serve as a marker to indicate where the bike route is located. It is still up to the bicyclist to determine whether the route is appropriate for their skill level based on traffic volumes, terrain, and roadway geometrics. So that's the position that Iowa DOT takes. That they can put up a sign that says Mississippi River Trail or bike route. It is still up to the individual to determine whether they feel that it is appropriate for them to ride that route.
So if we designate the bike routes, then it would be able to be put in the map with the traffic count.
We could do that.
In the Iowa map that they already have?
Right. Okay,
and then if we're in there, then the bicyclists that have this map and realize that, they would know what the traffic count is.
And I think that it's not in all the maps, but I think maybe that if we do move with this, that would be something that I would certainly encourage, that we put a traffic count in there. That way that would prepare people to what they could expect on those type of routes.
That's right. I think that's a good plan.
Even though I still have liability issues on certain of these roads.
I don't think we'll ever resolve the issue of liability, not at any of our meetings anyhow.
Well, you won't become a legislature is going to do something with the potential what is liable and what isn't liable.
But there's always an assumption of the risk when any
always an assumption of the
bicyclist
risk.
or even a motorist takes to the highway. So.
Yeah. But unfortunately, like I said, we had a case that got settled.
Yes,
That,
I know.
and that was a crack in the pavement, the way I understand it.
Could I take just 1 minute to address that case, because it comes up every time there is this discussion. This was in Crawford County. It was during Ragbri, so there were not a few bicyclists. There were 10 or 12,000 bicyclists riding this county road. There was a crack in the center of the road, not where the bicyclists normally would ride, but in the center of the road. During the course of the morning, several people hit that crack and went down. The county sheriff sent a deputy out there to warn people to stay away from that crack in the road. The deputy was there for a while and left. Somebody came along, hit the crack, and they were killed. Now, I think there is some liability there, but not for not for reasons of the crack in the road. It was more a liability because of the sheriff's department warning people, but then leaving and not warning people. But anyway, that never went to court. It was settled out of court, and I think that it is not particularly relevant to what we are talking about here in the way of bike signage. I think that was a unique situation and was different entirely from what we're talking about here.
I would agree with you.
Okay, where do we want to go from here? If it's
I
not
think we
action,
place it on a future agenda for action.
can we come up with a date when we want to put it on there?
Next week.
We've already put this off a month, so.
I would prefer next week
Next
because
week.
I'm gone
Next week, that's fine.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
next week will be an action item, and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Fine.
All right?
And Esther, we'll see that you get this
Okay,
information.
I would
forward.
appreciate it, Larry. Thanks.
Could you see that all the board gets the information?
Sure.
It's
I'll
a
share.
notebook about that thick.
And there are only those two items that I really want out of the rest of those enclosures.
Okay,
So, and you get them to me and I can share with the rest of the board.
all right. fine.
Okay,
I will do
thanks.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.